Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be sharing a recipe for a beautiful bag from a famous brand. You can use it as a beach bag or as a daily bag. It consists of 5 motifs. By combining these 5 motifs, we'll create a beautiful piece. I used a ready-made leather handle, just like the original bag, but you can also create new handles with your own string. You can also use different designs and accessories. It's all up to your taste. I'd like to show you a closer look at the model. Look, we'll be working on the mosaic motif, and look, it consists of 5 motifs. I want to show you the bag in detail. We'll also apply the same motif to the base of the bag. As I mentioned, we're creating our bag with 5 motifs. It's a beautiful large bag with a lot of volume. As I mentioned, you can use it as a beach bag or an everyday bag. The original bag wasn't lined either. It only had a snap closure at the opening. You can also use just one snap closure, or you can line your bag or create different closures. It's all up to your taste. I completed the bag with a leather handle similar to the original. I might use snaps for the opening. It's a really easy and fun project. I've shared the entire process step by step in detail. I hope it's helpful. Before we move on to the detailed recipe, I'd like to ask a small favor of you. You can subscribe to our channel for free. I'd be very grateful if you liked the video and left a comment. I used paper string for this project as in the original, but you could use different strings. You can also use raffia, macrame or cotton yarn. It's all up to your taste. Let's move on to the recipe. I sourced all the materials I used from Aksa Orgu Boutique. I'll include their contact information in the video description. Those interested can find it there. Here we'll create 5 square motifs. I'll share with you how we created our motif in detail. At the end of the video, I'll share the weight of yarn I used. I'll quickly set my motifs aside. I won't be using paper yarn here. I want to mention this right from the start. When we knit with paper yarn, our motif gathers inward a bit. We smooth it out with a steam iron. Because it's a motif with a crease on the front, it's called a mosaic motif. Look at it this way, it's a grooved dimensional motif. That's why it gathers. If you're knitting with paper yarn, you can also work with shelving yarn, macrame yarn, or kutlan yarn. You can use any yarn you like. It doesn't have to be paper yarn, but I definitely want to show it with a steam quill from the inside out, like this on the back. We iron it nicely with a steam lint on the reverse side to ensure it is smooth and even. Now, when working with paper yarn, my crochet hook size is 3.5 millimeters. Now I'll be explaining the motif to you with cotton macrame. I'll be using a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook again. We'll start with the magic ring as something I'll use again. If there are any beginners among us, I've previously shared a detailed video on how to make a magic ring. I'll add the link to the description of our video. You can reach it by clicking there. We've created our magic ring. Now, while creating a ring here, we are chaining. Now this is a chain. We have completed 2, 3. I am wrapping it around my hook. I'm inserting into my ring. I cast on a stitch. I have 3 stitches. I'm filling it. I wrap them together again. I am preparing a double treble crochet by knitting them together. We will accept a treble crochet in the first 3 chains. I wrapped it around my hook again. I came to my ring and knitted another double treble crochet. We have prepared 1, 2, 3 treble crochet groups with the first chain. There are 2 chains in the corners. I'm filling my hook. I come back to my ring and work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 2. I'm filling. I'm working a group of 3 double crochets into my ring again. We'll have a total of 4 groups. 2 chains for the corner again. I'm working my last 3 double crochets. I knit quickly. Look, we've now achieved 4 groups this way. At the end, I'm not closing the magic ring completely. I'm pulling lightly. This is important. When working with paper yarn, be very careful. If you pull too hard, you might break it. It's definitely best to pull it in a controlled manner. At the beginning, I'm not closing the magic ring. Now I'm leaving the yarn here. The short yarn. I've wrapped it around my hook. After 3 double crochets, I'm slipping it into the first chain 2 and 3. I've made a slip stitch. I have 3 stitches left and I'm filling them in, picking up 3 of them at once, and I'm holding them in the corners. This is how I obtained the 2-chain gap I made. Now we go up with 3 chains. I accept 3 chains as a double crochet. Now we will start the pattern. Look, I am filling it twice and we are sinking into the magic ring right below. Look, I will show you like this. Look, let's hold this rope like this. I wrapped it around 2 times after chain 3. Look, I'm entering through the space I created here. I'm exiting the magic ring. After working like this, I take the yarn from here. There are 4 stitches. I fill them. I wrap them together again. I wrap them together again. I knit them together and work a triple treble crochet. See if I'm knitting a very long treble crochet. Let me show you how. Then I fill it. See the short yarn here. I come back to the space I created with this single treble crochet. Look, I come to the space immediately to the right of the 3 chains. I knit a double treble crochet. Now what do we do in normal classic motifs? 3 treble crochets, 2 chains. We fill the 2 chain spaces with 3 treble crochets and make increases in the corners to enlarge the square motif. Here. Look, we have obtained a triple group of 3 crochets with 1 double crochet. The pattern started as a half stitch. By finishing at the end of the row, we will complete this corner by doing the remaining half stitch. The corner begins as a half stitch. Now I am filling my hook. Look, this place will remain like this. 3 crochets will form the next 2 chain space. Look, the first 3 chains, 2 crochets. I pass this group of 3 crochets. I slip into the 2 chain space and directly knit 1 double crochet first. I am filling it twice. Now look, again in the same space. I enter through the 2 chain space and exit the magic ring. I take my yarn from here. I have 4 stitches. I'm stuffing 2, I'm stuffing 2, I'm stuffing again, pulling 2 and making a triple. By going up 3 times, I'm ready for the triple treble crochet. I'm stuffing my hook. I come to 2 chains again. I'm working 1 double treble crochet. Now look, we've worked the triple group here. Double treble crochet, double treble crochet. Now since it's a corner of 2 chains, I'm stuffing my hook again. I'm immediately working 1 double treble crochet into the 2 chain space. Now I'm stuffing twice. Look, I'm working in 2 chains again and exiting the magic ring at the same point. I'm picking up a stitch here and working my triple treble crochet. Now I'm filling my hook. Look, I'm coming back to the 2 chain space and knitting 1 double crochet, and I'm preparing groups of 3 in this way. Look, there are 3 double crochets. 2 of them are double crochets. The middle one is the triple crochet. I've knitted 3 groups. I've prepared the other 3 groups of double crochets in this way. The middle ones are the front slip stitches and the triple crochets we've knitted in between. Now I'm filling my hook. I've come back to 2 chains. I'll repeat the process I did here. If you think I'm knitting too fast at this stage, you can slow down the video or watch it in full. You can also watch it in reverse, speeding it up. Now I've completed 2 chains again, double crochet and double crochet. Now I'm filling the same space with another double crochet twice. I'm entering 2 chains again, exiting the magic ring and preparing the triple crochet group. I've wrapped it around and I'm immediately working the double crochet into 2 chains again. Look, it's very, very easy. You'll easily grasp the logic when you get the hang of it. I've reached another 2 chains. Repeat the same steps again and look quickly. I'm completing my row. I came and knitted the double crochet. Let's knit our triple double crochet right away. Once you get used to it, it's over very quickly. And now I've completed a group of triple double crochets. We started with half. Now we'll do the other half. I'm wrapping directly onto my hook. Notice there's no chain in the transitions. I'm wrapping directly onto my hook. I'm slipping into the 2 chain space I created with the single double crochet I started with. First, a double double crochet. I'm wrapping twice. I'm working into the 2 chain space, pulling the end of my hook through the magic ring, and then I'm picking up my yarn. I'm working up with a triple double crochet. I've wrapped it, I've completed the corner by working another double crochet into the same space. Then I've hooked my hook and slipped the stitch into the first 2 or 3 chains. I have 3 stitches and I'm filling them. By picking up all 3 at once, I've created the 2 chain gap in the corners. Let's stay here. What am I doing here? I'm coming right up with the short yarn left from the magic ring. Now I'm pulling it through at this point. Look, after knitting the second row, it's important to pull this yarn through in a controlled manner. If you pull it through suddenly, like paper, you'll definitely break it. You can close the middle part by pulling it slowly as much as you can. Then I lock the yarn with a chain at the back like this. Then we will hide the yarn. Now let's go back to your motif. We have completed 2 rows of the motif. Now we have obtained the 2 chain gap in the corner with a single crochet. We will do the same process again. We will go up with 1, 2, 3 chains and wrap it twice. We will enter the 2 chain gap we have created immediately and exit from the space below. First we were exiting the magic ring. Look, now I am inserting the 2 chain gap here with my hook. I am removing it from the space immediately below. We'll always use the 2 chain spaces in the corners at these corner increases. I wrapped it around twice. I inserted the tip of my hook into the 2 chain space immediately below and pulled it out through the space below. I picked up a stitch here and immediately worked my treble crochet. Then I'll come back immediately. Look at the back. I insert the treble crochet space here once more and work another double crochet. I've created a group of 3. Now it's exactly the same as the classic wife begged man liked motif. I'm filling in my hook. Look at that chain, treble crochet, double crochet. I'm skipping this group of 3. I'm inserting into the space in between. I sank into the space between. First, a double railing. I'm filling it twice now. We had 3 double crochets skipped below. Look, we're going to slip into the middle one. I want to show it specifically like this. 3 chains, a double crochet, another double crochet. We'll slip into that middle one. I've wrapped it around twice. I'm slipping into the middle crochet of the group of triple crochets just below it from the front. I'm entering it through the wide right space and exiting through the wide left space, making a stitch from there. I'm stretching it a bit, 2, 2, 2 trebles. By going up 3 times, I'm preparing the treble crochet. I'm wrapping it around the hook. Look, I've worked the double crochet. I'm coming back to the intermediate space. I'm working another double crochet, creating a group of triple crochets this way. Then I'm directly working the hook. Look, there are no chains in the transitions. There are no chains in these straight lines. We're just working 2 chains in the corners. Now I'm working the hook. I've moved on to the group of triple crochets here. 2 chains are coming. Immediately I'm working 1 double crochet into the 2 chains. I'm working it twice, immediately going into the 2 chain space, inserting the tip of the hook into the 2 chain space on the row below and picking up a stitch from there and working the group of triple crochets. We are inserting these spaces in the increases while knitting, and now look, we will be using these triple treble crochets in the upper row. Now I come back and do another treble crochet. See, I have completed the triple group. Now that it is a corner, I am filling 2 chains with crochet. I come back and fill the same space with a double treble crochet twice, enter through 2 chains again, exit through the bottom 2 chains. I made a stitch, knitted the triple treble crochet, wrapped it, and immediately came back to the same space and knitted another double treble crochet, thus preparing the points in the corner. I am filling. Look, I passed the triple treble crochet. I am using the intermediate space. Immediately do 1 double treble crochet. I'm stitching twice. Look at the bottom. There are 3 double crochets I skipped, not the first but the second. I'm immediately inserting the second one. I'm slipping a stitch and working a group of triple crochets. I've looped through the gap and I'm working the remaining double crochets, creating the group of triple crochets here. Now let's repeat the steps I did here in the corners until the end of the row. Let's share the ending and beginning again. We're almost to the end of the row. Look, we've worked this group here. I'm filling my hook. Now we've reached our last space, created with the single crochet. We're halfway through the pattern. I enter the space I created with the single crochet and first wrap 1 double crochet and 2 short stitches and enter the 2 chain space. I exit from the space below. I immediately fill a triple crochet here and immediately fill another double crochet into the same space. Now look, the motif row is finished. I am joining, I am filling with the crochet. What do we do at the end? We slipped a stitch into the first 2 or 3 chains and made a slip stitch. There are 3 stitches and I fill them. By collecting all 3 at once, we have completed the motif row. Now the beginnings are always the same. The ending and beginnings are always the same. It never ever changes. By the way, my macro looked really nice with the yarn. Now I'm going up with 3 chains. I'm wrapping it twice again. Look, it's exactly the same as I did at the beginning. I'm entering through the space I created right here and exiting through the space below. And here I am knitting 1 triple crochet stitch. Then immediately come back to the same space and make another double crochet. Look, this is how I initially created the triple crochet group. This doesn't change at all. I wrapped it around the hook. The 3 chains, triple crochet and double crochet we started with are now there. We'll work this triple crochet group here as we would with regular motifs. We'll slip it through without a chain. I wrapped it directly around the hook. I'm slipping into the intermediate space. There are spaces like this between the triple crochet groups. Look, we'll use these spaces now. I passed the group of 3. I'm sinking into the intermediate space. First, I'm filling 1 double treble crochet twice. Now, what we normally did is this triple treble crochet in between. We've already done the middle treble crochet by sinking the middle treble crochet. Now, these treble crochets are much more distinct. Look, there are triple treble crochets. From now on, we'll be sinking these edge sections. We'll always use these treble crochet bodies as we pass. I'm filling twice. I'm coming. Look at the triple treble crochet right now. When we look at it like this, it's the exact middle point of the bottom treble crochet. After wrapping it twice, I'm sinking the body of that treble crochet from the front. I took out 2 loops. Let's do it again. I wrapped it a couple of times, looked at the body, took off a stitch, went up in 222 ways, wrapped it. I immediately came back to the intermediate space and knitted the remaining double treble crochet, completing the triple treble crochet group. I am being crocheted. Now I pass the triple crochet here. I come to the intermediate space. See, I came to the intermediate space. I am filling the double treble crochet twice. Right below, look, there is a triple treble crochet group. Look, there is a triple treble crochet group from the front. Look, I am sinking in the front, taking off a stitch, knitting a triple treble crochet. I wrapped it. I come back to the intermediate space, knit the remaining double treble crochet, completing the treble crochet group to 3. Now it's the corner. I'm filling my hook. I come to the 2 chain space and work a double crochet. I fill it twice. I slip into the 2 chain space, pull it out of the space below, and work a group of triple crochets. This doesn't change. I'm back in a moment. A double crochet into the same space. I've prepared another group of triple crochets. Since it's a corner, I fill in 2 chains. I immediately double crochet again. Now we're going to work the triple crochet by wrapping it around twice. Again, making a sinking stitch in the same spot. Let's go through these a little faster. Look exactly the same. Again, by inserting 2 chains in the back section and working a double treble crochet, we have prepared a triple treble crochet, that is 3 treble crochets, 2 chains, 3 treble crochets. The corners do not change at all like this. Then what I do is fill with the crochet hook again, pass the triple crochet, insert into the intermediate space, fill the double treble crochet twice. See that protrusion just below it. The body of the triple treble crochet is inserted from the front. I go up with a triple treble crochet, insert into the intermediate space once more, and work the double treble crochet. 2 treble crochets, 1 treble crochet in the middle, and we have prepared a triple treble crochet in this way. See, the end and beginning are exactly the same, I hope. The motif logic is clear at this stage, so if you haven't grasped the motif part, I'm just saying this for beginners. I've shared a very nice detailed video on this motif myself. I'll add the link to that video in the description below. I've also shared it in color. If you're curious about the color change, how do these motifs change color? I'll add the link to that motif description in the description of the video. You can also view the mosaic motif there. Now here it is. We'll enlarge our motif. It will be exactly the same at the beginning and end. Look at the back. As I mentioned earlier, when working with paper yarn, the motif gets dimpled like this. It looks like a plate. It gathers. Don't let this scare you. Look at it from the reverse side with the steam quill and it will be a perfectly clean work. We iron it. To finish, we chain 2, break the yarn and tie it off. Now we need 5 motifs like this. Now how many rows are there? I want to tell you right away. I've knitted my motif here for 11 rows. Look, it's easy to see when you count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I knitted 2 chains in a row. You can count the spaces between them, but if it seems complicated, there is another easy way to count. There are groups of triple crochets that come after these 2 chains. Look, I knitted them until I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 11. This is how I prepared my motif. You will prepare 5 equal numbers for your motif. Sometimes, even if we use the same yarn and the same crochet hook size, the measurements I give may be a little less or a little more than your measurement. In fact, sometimes the weight can differ depending on the yarn. It is also useful to mention this. When I measure, I end up with square motifs measuring 27 centimeters by 27 centimeters in diameter. 27 centimeters is enough for me. You can make the rows larger or smaller. In other words, you can make the motif larger. Now I've knitted 4 motifs here. See, I've broken the yarn before knitting. Now we'll stitch them together. Notice I didn't break the yarn on the last motif because we'll be joining it. First we'll assemble the body, then we'll attach the base, knit the bottom of the bag and attach the handles, finishing the project. This will be a really easy project. Now let's move on to the joining part. I made the motif pattern with macrame thread, but I'll be knitting the joining and the remaining sections with paper thread. You'll also see how to knit with paper thread in detail at this stage. My last row. I knitted my pieces with steam and now I take one of them. Let's put the others aside first. Since it appears there are 4, we will combine the necessary motifs into a whole. For this, we will combine them completely with the single crochet technique. I make a chain like this. Look, I'm right in the corner. I made a chain. I insert myself into my 2 chain space here. I take the motif on the opposite piece. Look, we join from the plain. We combine. The wrong parts are looking one inside the other. I inserted myself into the 2 chain space. The stitch comes out and I knit 1 single crochet. I come back to the same space. I knit 1 more single crochet. I make 2 single crochets. I passed it with a needle like this so that it wouldn't be too tight. Then I'm inserting into a 3 chain space. See here, because it's my last row, I'm inserting into a 3 chain space in the motif. I'm inserting into the top of the opposite treble crochet. Groups of 3 are coming opposite each other. Slip off the stitch and make a single crochet. Next, look like this. I'm inserting the top of the double crochet stitch, inserting the same double crochet stitch on the opposite piece, pulling out a loop, and joining it with a single crochet. I'm inserting the next double crochet stitch, inserting the opposite double crochet stitch, and then again with a single crochet. Now the double crochet stitches are in groups of 3, and all we're doing here is inserting the top spaces of the double crochet stitches, working the double crochet stitches back and forth. See, we'll have made the single crochet stitches in this way. What I'm doing at this end is coming up with 2 single crochet stitches in the 2 chain space, 1 single crochet stitch in each of the double crochet stitches. When we get to the last corner, we'll have 2 chains again. When we arrive, we will knit 2 single crochets and break the yarn here. Let's come to this last part. Let's share the link with you again right away. As you may have noticed, we started with 2 single crochets, inserting the double crochets into 2 chains opposite each other, and then we came to the last 2 chains. Now I knit 2 single crochets at this point. After 2 single crochets into the 2 chain space, I pull 1 chain like this and cut my yarn enough and remove it from the direct loop. This will be the top of our bag. Look, this part is the mouth. Now I take another motif immediately with the same process. Look, I'm creating a loop with a chain like this. I'll immediately create a loop with a chain and then insert the stitches into 2 chains opposite each other exactly as I did earlier. Let's also insert this short yarn in between. First, I'm knitting 2 single crochets into our 2 chain space. Then I'm knitting double crochets across the following double crochets. Because the numbers are equal, look, since the double crochets are the same number, our double crochet count will be equal. Now look, I've combined 2 single crochets and I'm adding the 3rd motif. When I'm joining the 4th motif, I'll show you how. We've combined 4 single crochets and the first motif will remain open. What we're going to do here is start with the same single crochet and then we'll combine it into a hole again. What will we do next? We'll place the base. We'll prepare the base in the same way using single crochet. Now I want to bring these 4 pieces together. Let's give it a bag shape. Let's move on to briefly explaining how we place the 5th motif, the base. We've brought all 4 motifs together. I want to show it like this. Now I'm in the last 2 chain space here. I'm knitting 2 single crochets across the 2 chain space. Now you see the body of our bag look like this. I'll show you now. We'll crochet the mouth part here with a few rows of single crochet. Then I'll place the base because I didn't want to break the yarn again and continue. Now while we're here, look at our bag. I've determined this part as the mouth where we finished with single crochet. Now we'll crochet here with single crochet. After knitting 2 single crochets, I make a chain like this. I come back to the 2 chain space and crochet 1 single crochet here. Look, 1 single crochet doesn't stretch enough. If it does, you can do 2 single crochets. What do I do after this part? I'm coming right back. I'm working a single crochet into the top of the next single crochet and then a single crochet into the top of the next single crochet. I'm working 1 single crochet into each single crochet. This way we'll have moved on to the mouth of the bag. Look, let's fold it over from the edge. The body of the bag will be clearer this way because we'll be placing it like this, and this way we'll bring the handles right to the center. Now we'll work a few rows of single crochet into these 2 chain spaces. As I said, if it stretches, 2 single crochets are enough. If it doesn't, 1 single crochet is enough. Then we'll dive into the void right now. I want there to be no questions left in mind. Let's get to this part and show the transition right here. I've come to the intersection point. I'm knitting the last single crochet here, see 2 chains. Now I'm going to insert 1 single crochet into the space between the single crochet we joined. I'll take it right here with the line behind so it's not weak. Insert 1 single crochet here and place 1 single crochet in between, right where the single crochet is. Then look, we're hiding the short yarn at this stage. 1 single crochet into the 2 chain space of the other motif. Then we'll complete our row with 1 single crochet, inserting 1 single crochet into the tops of the next single crochet. See, I made the transition this way too. Since it didn't stretch, 1 single crochet was enough. What do we do when we reach the end of the row? We'll slip into the 2 chain space we worked here, go up with a chain, and work a few rows of single crochet like this again. Now I don't need to show you here anymore. Let's slip, go up with a chain, and slip in a few rows of single crochet for the cuff. Then I'll slip the cuff for the cuff. You can omit the slip for a firmer feel. Let's show you how to do this slip. Just a quick demonstration. Look at the picture. As I described, I worked 4 rows of single crochet. I want to approach it like this. Look, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to slip on a row. If you want, you can finish directly without slipping. Now I've slipped the last single crochet. I slipped the top of the first single crochet. I slipped a stitch and made a slip. We used to go up with a chain and knit single crochets over single crochets. But what am I doing now? After slipping, I continue. I slipped the top of the next single crochet. I slipped the stitch. I slipped again. Insert the next single crochet into the top and slip stitch again. Now I'll slip stitch around the mouth like this. After slipping, I'll finish the mouth of the bag by breaking my yarn. Let's see, we've completed the body. This will be the mouth of our bag. I want to show you the length of the bag right now. I measured it like this, 52 centimeters long, 4 rows of single crochet, and now of course we'll iron it with a steam quill. Finally we'll say plain. At this stage the length will be 29 centimeters, so the approximate depth of our bag will be 30 centimeters. Finally we'll place the base. Now let's finish the scrolling and cut the string here. Here's how we place the 5th motif. I'll share that with you quickly. Look at the scrolling of our bag. We've completed this part of our bag. Now we don't have anything to do with the mouth. Finally, we'll iron it with a steam quill, place the handle and finish it. Now we have our last 5th motif. We will place the 5th motif here. Look, the motif already fits the corners. There are 4 edges on this base. Look, 4 edges. In other words, the 4 motifs will fit easily on the 4 edges. Now what I do is take my yarn like this again. I make my start by making a loop with a chain. Now I immediately place the motif here like this. Look, you can start from any corner you want. I'm slipping in the 2 chain space right in the corner. I'm slipping in the 2 chain space opposite. I'm knitting 1 single crochet. Now 1 single crochet is enough here. because the motif on this side will also join. One single crochet is sufficient here. Then what do? I'll interleave the incoming double crochets, inserting them opposite each other along the edge. I'll do exactly the same process I did in the previous step. But this time, see how we'll do it. We'll join this edge as a whole, transition and completely insert all 4 edges, completing the motif. Now I'm inserting the double crochets opposite each other. See, I'm knitting single crochets. The important part here is this transition. Look, from this end, let's do it like this. It'll look clearer. We started the motif placement from here. Let's show you the transition right here. After I slip in the last double crochet, I come to a 2-chain space. I slip in the next 2-chain space, single crochet. Then, by the way, we had single crochets we'd worked. I slip in the body of this one, slip in the 2-chain space again, and right at the intersection here, look, I create a connection here by slipping into the 2-chain space at the base. I do this immediately, slipping into the space of the next 2-chain motif. I slip in this one again, slip in the 2 chains, slip in the base motif, and we have 3 slips. See this? I do the transition like this. Then what I do is exactly the same process. Opposite the handrails, I am knitting frequent needles by sinking. As I said, the numbers are equal. Look at the transition like this. I'm knitting 1 single crochet each. I'm knitting the 2 chain spaces at the intersection, and at the base we've knitted 3 single crochets at the transition point. This is how we'll insert the base. Let's insert the base exactly as we've described. What will I do next? I'll insert my leather handles. I want to show them right away. Look, the sling has holes like this. I want to clarify. Look, I'll insert the handles through these holes with the new skirt on the inside. The original bag didn't have any lining either. Just look at the leather part, and it was joined here. It had a handle and snaps on the handle. That's how it was in the original. I will place a handle directly. You can also line this bag if you want. You can use snaps, zippers, and any accessories you want for closures. Now let's finish the bag as we described. Our handle is new with the etamine thanks to the holes. We can insert our bag from the inside without disturbing the pattern on the outside. We can insert the handle. Now let's quickly share the final finished version with you. I completed our bag by placing it on the handle. In total, I used about 650 grams of katip from my bag. That's our recipe. I hope you like it and give it a try. I wish everyone the best of luck with making it. Don't forget to like our video, leave a comment and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Bye bye.